But I know you saw this a little bit later, but I did because the fans demanded it. I found that Leena had done a like hour and a half reveal of
By the way,
DMs.
have these people ever even met a PR fucking person? Like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, how are they still like, you know what? I think I'll just turn the stream on, start telling everything for now. Like, yeah, go ahead.
Here's the story, guys.
Go ahead.
Not many people saw this. But last week, Leena turned on her stream and she spent an hour and a half revealing screenshots of DMs that both she had received and Doublelift had received, which she did not say. I don't know if people said that they could reveal these DMs. She did censor them, right? But she didn't explicitly say these people have said I can anonymously release these DMs that I received from them. So I have to question whether permission was given to release DMs. And I also have to question whether people who were DMing Doublelift knew that their DMs were going to appear on her stream.
Seems implausible to me.
She also, even though she censored the names of certain people, showed screenshots of DMs of Reginald's. So Reginald, when he was being pathetic and begging everyone he's ever met to say nice things about him when all the truth about him came out.
So basically what you said on this show that everyone denied, they were like, no, people are coming out and saying, it's exactly
I knew it happened because I knew a bunch of people who he did that to, obviously, where everybody was telling me like, oh, Reggie's like DMing me and like begging for this. So basically Leena will censor the person's name, but Reggie can just go back and see who he sent that DM to and then know who Leena was talking to and then ostensibly take vengeance upon them, considering that one of the primary claims as to why people couldn't speak out about Reggie was he had a lot of power in the industry and then could basically block people from taking future jobs. So he can still do that, by the way. Even though he's not directly involved with the league team, he can still message all his little buddies, all his little owner buddies that spoke out positively for him. And guess what? Those owners aren't going to give a fuck about that person. They're going to say, oh, this person is leaking DMs, like private message that I as an owner am sending to them.
Yep.
I'm not going to hire them. So she actually probably did just fuck a bunch of people by doing this. But I watched the whole thing on my stream because my stream chat voted to watch this. And so we watched the entire thing and it is outrageous, guys. First off, because as I said on my stream, I don't even know why she feels the need to defend herself as if she did something wrong when no one is claiming
guilty conscience.
Yeah. No one is claiming that she was responsible for any of this shit that Reginald happened. Is she complicit? Absolutely. That's not even a question. It's not even a question.
I do think she is responsible in the context that when you are the president, you preside over that and you do not even at a minimum leak the journalist, you essentially become some form of an accomplice at that point. You are the one person with the power to do something about it.
It's even worse than that. She leaked a DM where she said in the DM, these are her words, that she would take this information to the grave. She would take it to the grave. Brilliant. That all of this abuse had occurred.
So I have to actually go to hell just to find out. No, whatever. It's a joke. Great. Now I have to be damned to hell just to find out the real story.
She outed herself as being complicit by saying that she was going to cover this shit up until she died. She changed her mind, fortunately, like credit to her. But here's the thing. I think she was complicit, but I also think that she was a victim of this abuse. Almost certainly. And I think she might have been.
Everyone was seemingly, right?
Sure. She might have been the number one victim because she dated him, because she was an executive at the company, because she was there for 10 years. She might actually be the biggest victim in all of this. And I do believe her stories about that she was trying to deal with the damage behind the scenes, but her stories are like, oh, I comforted this player after they were in tears, or oh, I went to HR, which like obviously isn't going to do anything when it's the CEO of the fucking company. I didn't go to Riot. I didn't go to any kind of journalist. I didn't actually expose this with evidence. But I just don't understand what's happening in her mind where she goes on stream, shows all these DMs, which are traceable by people who are involved within the scene. And honestly, if you read the DMs, you can have some pretty good guesses about who these people are as well. not rocket science to figure out who some of these people were. Doesn't explicitly say that she had gotten permission to leak these DMs. I suspect, I do not have evidence. I suspect she did not have permission to do all of these DMs, maybe some of them, maybe none of them, but probably not all of them. Given some of the content that was released, it seems very suspicious that some people would have allowed these DMs to be made public. So why do you go on your stream and do this when no one is accused, no one credible is accusing you of being anything but a victim and somewhat an accessory to the abuse that happened?
So here's the thing. Why does someone else's DM get leaked, but then your stories go to the grave with you? Like, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? Like, can't their stories go to the grave with you also, you fuck? That's the problem, Monte. That's why I don't buy that angle until I see some sort of evidence. But here's the problem, Monte. Yeah, you give people the benefit of the doubt. Keyword is benefit of the doubt. I don't need to have benefit. I can doubt her all day long. She's lied repeatedly for years. She's done loads of shady things herself. She's constantly breached professional ethics for her job and her position within TSM and other organizations, and even leveraged personal relationships for her own gain. So my problem is this. When I look at it, you know what I imagine as a complete outsider speculating? I imagine those two probably bloody deserved each other, Monte. They seem like the sort of arseholes who both just manipulate. The joke is this. Reggie actually, in a fucked up way, seems inverted to her. She seems like acts like the cool person to all the staff, but then does shady shit like tries to replace you, poach you, fuck with you, reveal your details, sell you for nothing, fuck you, tell you have to stay in a contract. She seems ruthless in business, but a cool person to you on a personal level. Reggie's the opposite, because here's the crazy thing. Reginald seems to only just be someone who has no impulse controls, an arsehole, but he actually in business seems to actually be fairly nice to people and let them out of the deal and sort of say, okay, you don't have to join. You know, like the joke is in some fucked up way, like, because my problem is this, Monte, again, like, this isn't someone who was trapped in a basement for 10 years. Like, they were literally being boosted and promoted through the industry. By the way, spoiler, if you've never looked up those lists, like, yeah, I'm 30 under 30. I've heard the companies just pay for that shit. Like, you just buy a spot on those things and they'll find one and they profile you. The joke is like she couldn't have benefited more out of this relationship. So at a minimum, she's on some level, I imagine, cynical, maybe a little bit exploitative herself. And then finally, the fact that at the end, she only really threw Reggie under the bus via Doublelift. He was the fucking henchman, the lackey on that one, which is a role he's been cast to play his whole bloody life at this point in time. Remember, he can just left click. That's all in life. And then he can't set up a PC to stream, apparently. And then after all that, she, at the end, still wore out Reggie. It's like, you know what I mean? Here's what I think about that, Monte. You know my take on this. It's the same reason why not a single executive at Riot ever outs the others, because they all know where the bodies are buried. And if you all did the crimes together, the joke is you all just look around and go, like mafiosos, let's make sure we never speak about this. We weren't here and this never happened. That's what I get the vibe of at the end, because the problem is they told too good a story. They've set it up, Monte, as though the end of the stream would be that she reveals it all. And this is like, wow, we get the mother. No, the end of the stream is we're never going to know. And even worse, she can play back and forwards with that game. Sometimes she can be the person. I was trying to do it, other times, no, nothing I could do about it. But we never have any evidence. So the problem is I can't trust that person's credibility. You know, when people say, well, how can we trust you, Thorin, that you know all these things about Excel or Fnatic? Because when have I ever lied? Exactly. Never. I might have had an opinion you didn't like. I might have been wrong about a prediction or how good a player is. I've never lied, though. And that is what you actually, when you're keeping secret sources, the only thing, it's why as a journalist, integrity is so important. That's the only reason your credibility is that you don't tell lies about things that you won't prove. Because remember, I will never prove to you who told me that stuff about Alfari and Jat and those people. I'll never tell you what happened with the whole holy water. I'll never tell you any of that stuff, because unfortunately, that is the nature of secret sources. You can never get to know. So in her case, she doesn't get to have secret sources because she's been so full of shit for so many years. So if she comes forward with some information, I'll be the first one queuing up to go, wow, did Rachel really do all that? Maybe he is worse than we thought. But I have to say, I actually think at this point in time, Ben and I were never going to get anything else. And she participated in an investigation with Riot that has not found Reginald guilty of it. I actually personally suspect what's going to happen is she's just toying with the idea Reggie might have done even worse stuff, but won't tell us. It's like, come on, man. Like, what he's done so far, just be a dickhead. And sorry, as my career has proven to the nth degree, that is not illegal. Currently.
I think what's so outrageous about Leena to me is that she's still young, and she was very young when she got into TSM. She was literally a teenager, right? And she didn't have a professional background. She didn't really go to college, as far as I'm aware. She certainly didn't finish college at that age, right? And I think it's so easy just to say the following statement. I was young. I was a victim of this abuse. This was my first professional environment. I now realize, from having lived life and being exposed to other jobs, that this was professionally unacceptable. And I am going to spend the rest of my life, the many decades I have working as an executive myself, to never repeat, like never having this issue repeat itself in any workplace that I'm ever in. And I'm sorry to the people that I let down by being president of TSM and didn't defend you hard enough. But I was also a victim in this. And you know what? If you just say that, it's the truth. It's just the truth. Like, why can't we just be honest about the person that you are and say that I'm going to change over time and that you have changed? Why do we have to go on this weird, terribly bizarre PR escapade trying to disprove haters that, as far as I can tell, don't exist, who are claiming things about you? Who is making these claims? Nobody is making the claim that you are responsible.
I've never seen that as a general sentiment. It's a bit like when people, when they claimed that, like, in the Holy War, like, everyone was sending messages like, you just screwed your way to the top. Like, look, I've been back and looked at those threads. Yeah, there's tweets like that, but they're just randoms. There's no one famous saying that. Nobody in the industry ever said that publicly, nor have they ever even implied it. Yeah.
So I don't know. I think there's absolutely no problem in just admitting that this was a situation that you were not prepared for at this stage in your life, and now you are, and we're gonna make it as right as we can. That's just growing as a person, and obviously she has grown in the 10 years that she has been doing this job, and I don't really blame her that much for being in this position where she was constantly under the shadow of being verbally abused herself, and literally is trying to navigate a professional position where her ex-boyfriend, who is fundamentally an asshole, is her boss. That sucks. Like, I don't agree with what she did, but I also have a degree of empathy for her. And it's sad that she can't just come out and be honest about this, and instead needs to spin it all these different ways. Like, it's depressing because there is this deep-seated desire for validation within her that, you need to be stronger than that at this point in time. Like, realize you're going to have haters and just deal with it. Just deal with it. You want to be in the public spotlight. You constantly put yourself in the public spotlight. That is her thing. So you're going to have haters. Come to terms.
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.